Hello, this is Lady and welcome to another educational video. In this video, I will share with you my handbook. A daycare handbook is the best tool for you to share your business practice with your families. You can introduce your rules. You can also share what you expect from the families and also what you don't expect. As a professional, you must have a handbook. In this video, I will share with you my handbook so you can see how mine looks. Hello friends, this is my handbook. As you guys can see, it's about, 15 pages. So this one is gonna be a long video, but I wanted to share with you everything that is included in my handbook. So in the first page is gonna be the cover. Then let's go to the second page. Let me change the view. Okay, so now in the first page, what I did is I put my philosophy. Here you guys have an idea on how my philosophy looks. You can change this. Each of us, we have different values, different beliefs. So this is the part where you can put more about yourself. Also, each of our childcares, we have different goals for our program, and this is something that I believe and I follow. There are 10 of them, and you guys can change this one. You guys don't have to do exactly the same thing I did. This is just an overview for you guys to have and get ideas. If you want to use them, remember I'm selling this. You guys are welcome to use my copy. Just I recommend you to make changes here, for example, in this part. Read the whole handbook. And in this part, you should put the name of your business. Now let's go to page number 2. Okay, page number 3. Here goes the enrollment. What are the documents that the parents are gonna be signing or reading during the contract? So the first thing I have is the contract. My contract is about 3 pages, and I believe many of you guys got it already. This one is parent handbook. Then the second one is the parent handbook, and this one includes the 15 pages. That's why every time I do a new enrollment, it takes me 1 hour. Then there is also many LIC from licensing. The LIC forms are from licensing, and I always use 4 of them. Same thing with the emergency for information, notification of parent right. I also do a ASAQ form, so that really helps me to learn more about the child. And the last document I have is always the food program enrollment, which is only 1 page for the parent to sign. On December 5th, I always meet with the families so I can go over all my new regulations. Especially right now because of the COVID-19, I have new regulations. I also require a 1 week deposit in advance. If the parent cannot pay me this, they can make payments, but every parent should pay you this amount. It's really important that for your business, you want to have a business that is stable, and asking 1 week of deposit is not too much. It's really important, it's more to protect yourself because you depend on this business. So for that reason, I always had 1 week deposit. And then I also ask 2 weeks payment or 2 week notice. I don't really like when a parent tells me tomorrow I won't bring my child. They can tell me that, and if they do, I just need 2 week notice. And I always get the handbook and I remind the parent that they sign a contract with me. And one of my regulations, or one of the things that we agree with the parent, and the parent sign and also agree, is that I need 2 week notice. It doesn't matter if the child is removed immediately or the child can stay with me 2 more weeks. 3.5, this one also is a trial for me. Every time I take a new child, I always give enough time, like 2 weeks. Sometimes it's not enough, but in 2 weeks you can see if that contract is good for you. For example, in the past I had a family that they were coming at 5 in the morning and they were with me until 7 p.m. I had a good relationship with the family, and we were able to build something really strong with the family, and he didn't mind waking up so early because I was able to help the family. The family also was nice, and when families really appreciate you, you feel that you guys are working as a team, and when you have that feeling, you want to do a little bit way more for that family, and that's how I felt. So for that reason, that 2 weeks also can give me, this period also can give me the chance to see if this is a good contract or no. I had sometimes families that they were here between 12 to 16 hours. It was a long day, but I had also to make my decision that it was way too much for me. Remember, we don't get paid extra. The amount that the subsidy program pay us is so little that if you divide it by hours is unacceptable. So for that reason, this trial will help you to make the decision for your business. And remember, you are your boss. You are the person who decides which contract you want. Okay, now in number 4, this is where I really want all the families to understand that signing in and out is really important. If they don't sign in and out, we don't get paid. Especially this one goes more for the subsidy programs. If they don't sign in, we don't get paid. So for that reason, I will charge you a $5 fee if you miss signing in and out. Sometimes my families are in the rush, but also it's really important that we as providers, we are reminding the parents, can you please sign in? And they do, they get used to. Always make sure that also you have a pen ready so the parent won't have no excuse not to do it. So number 242, I understand that my child is not permitted. I don't think I have this situation, but I have heard from other providers that sometimes the child is that person who's knocking the door and the child is trying to do the signing. This is not allowed here. In case of illness, it's really important that the parent notified us and let us know what's the problem. Also, we are no backup plans. In case your child gets sick, you need to have a plan, because we are humans, we will get sick. There is time that we might have to close our daycare because something happened in our kitchen. So for that reason, one of my requirements is that all my parents need to have a backup plan. So the moment that we enroll, I always ask them. I ask the parent, in case I'm not able to open my childcare, or in case your child is sick, who is going to be your backup plan so you won't miss work? I always ask that question to the families. And normally they will tell me, okay, I will miss work, or I have my mom who's going to watch it, or I have another childcare. 4.5 is really important. Everybody that is going to do the pickup, they must be in the emergency contact information form. Besides this, I always ask the parent, to whoever's coming, I need to get a text with the name of the person, and then the person who comes, it needs to come with the picture ID in order for me to release a child. So there is a lot here in point number 4. Now, what happens when parents are late? Number 5, late pickups. This is one of the biggest things. I have a penalty of $1 per minute if the parent hasn't said nothing to me. Most of my families, they know that I'm super strict. They always let me know, you know, a lady, I cannot be there because something happened to my car. They always let me know, you know what, today I'm gonna be 10 minutes late. Now at that moment it's up to me. But if there is one parent who show up late without talking to me, without letting me know, that parent is gonna be charged at that moment. I also don't like when a parent just shows no respect for me by showing up after 5 o'clock. I always make plans for my family. I'm a mom of 2 little girls, and believe me, I also have a life. And as a professional, we have to let them know, the parents, that they cannot be late, and if they are late, this is how much they're going to be paying. So the parent will understand. I'm really blessed that many of my families, they really have a lot of respect for me, and I also have respect for them. That's why if I open at 7:30, at 7:30 I'm open. It doesn't matter what happened to me earlier, I'm always on time. Now point number 6, hours and fees. The fees I always change. I can change it 30 days in advance, and I always give notice. Normally my fees are increased once a year, but I can also make a change earlier if I want. Now 6.2 explain that every family has a different contract. Like in my case, I have 17 families. Each of them, they have a completely different contract. There's neither one that can match the other one. One time I remember when one mom told me, why these kids are here and why do I have to pick up my child? It's because your contract is different. That means that the payment is different. This child is probably paying extra $15 per hour for during this time. That's why every contract is different. Number 7 explains about payment. I always charge a registration fee of $25, and this is not refundable. I expect my payment on Friday for the oncoming week. If I don't receive the payment, there is a fee of $10 for late fee per day. Having the payment on Friday is really important because I'm able to go and do my shopping during the weekend. So I have food and materials on Monday morning. Explain this to the parent. It's really important the way how I'm explaining each of this, that you guys explain to your families. Not everybody, sometimes what we write here, not everybody's gonna take the same way. So it's really important that you explain your families what's all this about. And ask if the parent is understanding. I also said personal checks. I never had a bad experience with personal checks, but I have here other providers who did. So if that happened to me, it's a $75 fee, and on top I won't accept after that, no more checks. 7.4 explain about refund policy, no tuitions. Refunded, I won't allow somebody to come make updates. For example, right now during Christmas, I'm closing Thursday and Friday. And in the past, I had a parent who told me, okay, I paid for 5 days and you are closed 1 or 2 days. I need my money back. And I said, so if you get this rate, that means that will include all the days that I already closed. That includes my holidays, that includes any other day that I will be closed for any reason. Okay, so here also I put my name, and it's really important that you guys change this information if you decide to buy the copy of this handbook. 7.5 explain that if you have any subsidy program, also you are the person who is responsible in case I don't get paid. Sometimes the parent won't submit the documentation, and guess what? You won't get paid. So it's really important that the parent understand that every time they are late on their paperwork, that means that you won't get paid. My job is I always check every 28th of each month to see if this family has already childcare or no. I always call to, in this case, CCRC. I call them and I ask them, or DCFS, I ask them, is this family approved? And I need to know until when. Number 8, also here is a big portion just for subsidy programs. And this is where I explain the families from this program how important it is to sign in for me to get paid, and also at the same time who is responsible in case I don't get paid. Number 9 explains about the holidays and closing days. When you have a new contract, it's really important that you explain to your families the days that you want to be closed. These days can be the federal holidays. You can choose maybe 1 or 2 weeks off in the month of July or December. This is up to you. You are the person who decides how many days you want to be closed. But it's really important that on January you give your parents a reminder. I always give them a hard copy, or I always send them a PDF file so they know in advance what I'm planning to do every year. I love traveling, so I reserve the right to take 6 weeks per year of vacation, and they are unpaid. I don't expect the families to pay me for my vacation. But I let them know in advance. Most of the time, I always have a substitute teacher who takes my place, and I'm able to take my vacation. My daycare is always open because I have a lot of people that depend on my service. So for that reason, I don't close. Now, when I have a new contract, I always ask the parents, I ask them when it's gonna be their next vacation. Are they gonna be taking any trips soon? I always ask them in advance before this happens. And then I always ask them what they are gonna do during the holidays. My rates are based on the spot. They are not based on how many days a child comes. So the parent understand in case a child only comes 3 days but they are paying for a week, I won't give them their money back. It's really important that you take time on this, on number 9, because it talks a lot about refund, what's allowed, what's not allowed, what happens when they are sick. So take your time, and you want to make sure that the families are understanding that what's going to happen in case the kids they get sick. I also give, and I want to be flexible, I give my families 2 weeks off per year where they are going to be paying me only 50% of my weekly rate. So for example, if they pay me $200 per toddler, they're going to be paying me the week that they choose only $100 for me to reserve their spot. I also explain the families, in order for me to have a quality of care and have great employees who depend on this business, which means their payment, it's really important that I have to charge the full amount. But I do understand that the kids might get sick. So for that reason, I offer only 2 weeks at a 50% off. Now let's talk about free meals and snack. All my meals are free. I provide between 2 meals and 2 snacks, and these are the times. I'm really strict on this, and I don't have a restaurant, I have a childcare. So here we have a set time for meals. Sometimes the parents, they don't feed their kids, so I always ask them that your child is going to be hungry until 10:30. It sounds really rude, but it's really important that the parent understand that they need to feed their kids at home, or they can have here a free meal between this time. Before in the past, I used to be very flexible, but what I noticed is I didn't have time to teach the kids because I was always serving and I was always in the kitchen. But since I go to school and I learned so much about different trainings, I'm able to make changes that is helping and is providing more quality in my childcare. Now let's talk about nap time. Nap time or quiet time. All the children are required to have a minimum of 1.5 hours of nap time. And I provide the cots or playpen for each child. I also ask here number 12, clothes and supply. I always ask them to bring me 2 changes of clothes. I always have messy days. We have an outdoor play. I require to have shoes, and most of the time it's gonna be tennis shoes because I want the kids to go outside and always protect their toes. I don't like sandals, I don't allow it. I don't allow neither those nice shoes. They can bring it, but here in our daycare we always keep it tennis shoes for the kids to go and play outside safely. Everything has to be labeled, including jackets, sweaters, hats, and then everybody brings all these clothes in a Ziploc bag to make sure that I won't lose them. Now, it's the parent's responsibility to provide diapers. I remember when I was in the early Head Start, I used to get and provide diapers for my families because the program will give it to us. But now the parents are responsible to provide diapers and wipes and anything. And in case the parent doesn't bring it, one, because they forgot something, in order for me to do my job, I need to have all these materials like diapers and wipes. I also charge them a $1 per diaper in case they don't bring a one, and $5 per pack of wipes. Believe me, after you charge them, they are gonna bring their own. It's really important that we have everything, so in case licensing comes and the child wasn't able to be changed because the mom didn't bring it, it's really important that you have a backup plan. Now, we do potty trainings, but normally we ask the parents to do it at home for a month. If the child doesn't have accidents, I will continue doing that. Here only for 2 weeks. I do charge because it takes me more time, and sometimes I bring an extra employee that is going to help me for doing those 2 weeks. So that's one of the reasons why I do charge. Now let's talk about number 14, which is health and safety policy. Here I spend a lot of time, like besides the fees, this is the area where I spend the most, explaining to the families how important it is to keep their child home when they are sick. At the beginning of my contract, I always require the immunization record. I always ask also a physical exam from the doctor, and then in case they are sick, they cannot come for 48 hours. And this is one of the reasons, if your child has one of the symptoms, it's really important that your child needs to be at home. So the majority of my family really understand, but there is always a new family who sometimes they bring their child to the daycare knowing that they are coughing, or sometimes maybe they don't notice. I don't know exactly what is true, but I had situations that I had to send the child right away home. At the same time, it's really important that you keep your childcare healthy, and in order for you to do that, it's really important that you follow your own policy. Right now we have also the COVID-19, who is affecting all the daycares. So it's really important that we know about this, that we explain this to the families. We send them little reminders, like through Facebook, Instagram, any place that you use to promote your business. You should be always communicate with your families, letting them how important it is to keep your childcare healthy. Same thing, I ask the parents, please did you not give any kind of medications unless it's allergies. And if your child has allergies, for sure I will have a doctor notice with all the treatment. Now children that are sick might stay home, and normally if a child is coughing, they won't be able to come for 48 hours, or in case of a fever. Now also because of the COVID-19, we have to be more careful. Any little thing, we don't want to expose our other kids. Remember, it takes one child who is sick and it's going to spread the virus. We also have to think about our families. And then also here explain what happened if your child becomes ill while attending daycare. I always contact them via text because they're at work and they do answer me back really quick. Same thing here on the 15.5. any kind of medication we need to have. For example, sometimes we get for teething allergies, we require authorization form from the doctor, including Tylenol. We have a prescription from the doctor because I don't want to be in trouble. I'm not a nurse, I don't want to be a nurse, and I just want to prevent and to make sure that whatever I'm giving to a child, it has a doctor like instructions or directions for me to follow. Remember, we are working with children. We are not working with books. We want to make sure that we are not making mistakes on medications especially. Then I ask also, in case a child gets any kind of vaccine, they also need to be at home. Then there's a big thing here in bold that talks about the COVID-19 symptoms and what to do. I also require a quarantine and also a test of the results. Now going to the number 16, talks about communication policy. Here I always talk with my families about the child progress. We have different activities during the year and always new regulations. Then number 17 talks about release of children's policy, intoxication, every little thing that we do. 21 talks about withdrawal policy. It's really important that my parents, they know I need 2-week notice. Something that I explain to them is, for example, if I find a new family and I really like their schedule, it won't be nice if I go and I tell the other family who has more hours with no extra payment for me, that I will let them know tomorrow you cannot come. Same thing I always do for my families. I give them 2-week notice for them to find another childcare, but I also expect the same thing. So this is the agreement that 2 adults are doing, and it's really important that both of us, we are agree and we follow what we assign. 22, termination policies. I had to do this many times, at least 1 per year. I always also have to think that every time I bring a new family, it's gonna be a great addition for the whole group. I always have to think about the whole group, not just about one family. So it gives you different things, like for example, in case a child is not picked up on time 3 times, or I don't get a payment. Believe me, after 1 time that I don't get a payment, the parents is gonna see that I'm not happy about it, because this is our job and we deserve to get paid for what we do. Okay, so there is other points here that you guys can see. At the end, it's up to me to determine if the child will benefit here or not. I always give them a letter that explains in case I do a termination. I explain the family why I'm doing, and I always give them different numbers of other daycares where I refer this family. I reserve also the right to terminate immediately if I have to. I have never had done this, but I always give my families 2-week notice. Pictures and videos. I'm always taking pictures, I'm always making videos. I have a different YouTube channel for just my families, and I always have the permission of the families because they know that I have different YouTube channels. I have Instagram, Facebook, and also I do a lot of different activities in my community, so I always have with me my album with pictures and banners, etc., with the pictures of the kids. Now, in case of party, yes, we do allow parties. This is the time where the parents can bring anything. Normally they will give me the list of what they're gonna bring so I can update my menu. I always have a update normally in the month of December, and just in case, I'm always open to go over my contract anytime my families need me to do that. And this is 26 points of my handbook. For sure there is different more options that you can do, like for example you can put about your insurance, you can put here about your curriculum. This can keep going. Right now this is 15 pages. I can make it this longer if I have to. Before I only had this 4, then it was 8, and right now it's 15 because of the new regulations. I hope this video really helped you to put together your handbook. Now you have all the tools that you need. And if for any reason you cannot do it today, my handbook will be for sale for $20, but only for the 50 subscribers. I won't be selling this to another person. If you are not part of this channel, or if you are the number 51. I already have many people right now on the list that they are ready to buy this handbook. This handbook is gonna be only for $20, and it's the copy of my handbook. This also will include the contract that goes together, and that is gonna be for free. If you want to buy the handbook, please send me one email to this. Via email, I will be sharing all the options how you can pay. Now, if you want me to customize your handbook, the cost will be a little bit more, and I will be sharing also that with you via email. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Hasta pronto. See you soon.